What if the anxiety you've been medicating for all these years isn't just anxiety? And what if all these symptoms from perimenopause and menopause are showing up and it's just not the hormones? What if this is grief that was never processed? That this grief from childhood, from your time when you were in a high control religion, the grief of living in that environment. So I left the Mormon church 20 years ago. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I find myself in this hyper independence that I learned in childhood. And I still catch myself thinking, I can do this all on my own. I don't need help. Um, so leaving the Mormon church was really slow for me. It wasn't like one big argument, one big fight, or just it wasn't like that. It was slowly from like age 14 questioning to age 25, did a hard stop, not going to church anymore. And then even just after no longer going into a church, 25 to 40, that was really difficult processing what had happened to me. I define religious trauma as any event, a doctrine, belief system, or person that has harmed you and has lasting effects. So, this is anything that you perceive as a harmful experience. For me, what was really difficult was growing up Mormon is family. Family is eternal. Well, what if you're getting hit at home? Do I want to be hit for eternity? This is not developmentally appropriate for children. For when you tell children that if you do not follow these rules, you will not be with your family. It creates a sense of abandonment, rejection, that I can't count on people. It creates a sense of anxiety, perfectionism. It's a merit based love. So I will receive love when I go to church. If I practice these principles, I will receive love. It's not coming from a place of, hey, I'm just going to be loved for me, and I'm going to be embraced for all of my achievements, not what the church tells me. So this is really scary. Mormons believe in not necessarily like the hell, Christian hell, but it's like an outer darkness. And what I learned was if you're telling a child they'll be abandoned if you do not follow these rules, this is not unconditional love. This is traumatic. I grew up being really hyper independent. I was young instead of six. Part of this is just being part of the Gen X, right? So you leave house, you come back when it's the lights come on and it's dark outside, right? So growing up, I learned to be quiet, to be small. It came to a point of why have a voice? Why talk about what I want, what I desire? Because I'm not going to be listened to anyways. So sometimes when I'm to this day, when I'm sitting in a room and I'm like, other people are talking and a little voice says in my head, well, what's the point of me speaking up? No one's going to listen anyways. That is old. That comes from very old ingrained beliefs. And that's what the Mormon church emphasizes, for women to shut their mouths. They had to learn to let people into my space, and became a protection. So I had to learn how to ask for help, and I had to learn, or I got to learn, uh, I commit mistakes and I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail, and that's okay. And that's part of the perfectionism that high demand religions teach, that um, there's no room for error. And that is really detrimental to developmental growth. Um, so it has just taken time to let go of those ingrained thoughts. Um, Part of how I was able to gain confidence and to lean onto other people and not to be so hyper independent was going into a sober support program. And I was able to let that guard down and receive help from others and receive unconditional love. What an amazing experience to have, for someone to love me without me having to believe a certain way or having to do a church calling. So it was just such an eye-opening and heart-opening experience. What I didn't really like in traditional sober support programs was this let go, let God. And depending on where you are in at least the United States, Christian beliefs are gonna seep into it. So I gotta find a more secular approach, which worked for me. So leaning on a secular community has helped me tremendously. And I can just kind of let my shoulders go and breathe, and I can just be me. Um, I just crave spirituality. And to me, that is nature. That is trusting myself, trusting my intuition, and love, showing love to myself, showing love to others. And for me, I can't love other people until I love myself. Um, so this video, this topic is for all my Gen X and baby boomers out there, because we were taught just kind of trudge through, put one foot in front of the other, keep going, don't stop and feel your feelings, suck it up, get over it. And now is the time that we need to slow down, check in on ourselves, and acknowledge that, hey, I was harmed. Hey, that was traumatic. And love yourself, be kind to yourself. So when we don't deal with that, panic shows up, phobias, obsessive compulsive disorders, depression, alcoholism, drug addiction. So overeating and undereating. So all of these symptoms, these ailments, when we have chronic pain, are showing up when, and it's just kind of the surface. When you peel off the onion more, you get down to, oh, this was religious harm. Um, So if you're on medication for anxiety or depression, moving through perimenopause, menopause, it's time to pull back the layers. This generation, Gen X, baby boomers, were taught just to endure, to survive and not thrive. And it's time to heal. So when you're on the other side of this, going through it is absolute hell and misery. You may feel like your whole world is blowing up, and that's okay. When you come to the other side of it and deal with, hey, this was trauma, acknowledging the trauma, processing the trauma, honoring yourself, and loving yourself. For me, I was able to have really hard conversations. Before, I didn't think my voice mattered. Now, my voice does matter. I do matter. That's why I'm doing this today. It's because I have come to the other side. I know my worth, and I want to share with others that there is hope, and that we don't have to live in misery. We don't have to just, trudge through and get through this. We can thrive.